Black or white, male or female, rich or poor, gay or straight. What's the difference? Number 14 and number 41 are on a mission to improve the unity of the world, one person at a time. Welcome to the 14 and 41 Unity Show.
Hello, I'm Alexis Hornbuckle, number 14.
And I'm Matt Gersper, number 41.
And I'm Jaimel Johnson, number 1, where we are different but made from the same stuff.
Right on. We're very happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, and are excited for you to meet our first female guest of the season, Jaimel Johnson. Welcome, Jaimel. 14 and I are super excited to have you on the 14 and 41 Unity Show.
Thank you. I am very, very excited to be here. I know we've been trying to work out a date for a while, so I'm just very excited to be on the show and discuss RAFRU and talk about my stories.
Excellent. Well, we're glad we got you here. Why don't you take the first minute or two and just tell our audience what you're doing these days to make the world a better place?
I'm just providing my services. I love giving back. I love working with kids. I'm a personal trainer and a soccer coach and kind of just a serial entrepreneur. But my company, The Gold Standard Fitness and Sports Performance Training, I do a lot of personal training, athletes, your average Joe just wanting to better their lifestyle. And then also I partnered with one of my best friends. She has a nonprofit program called Rent Due. And so we partnered and ran a clinic for a charter school of elementary kids in inner city Atlanta. So we did that. So definitely more clinics on the way, looking to expand to the other programs. I'm just all over the place, Matt. I'm sure you can understand you being an entrepreneur yourself. So, and of course, Lex, we basically have identical schedules.
All right, Jaimel, why don't we go back, let's say 10 years, and tell the folks what you were doing back in 2010. What'd your life look like then?
In 2010, I had just finished playing soccer professionally. My last season, part of it was spent in Washington, D.C. with the Washington Freedom. And the probably in May of that year, I took my first coaching job as a Division I women's soccer assistant coach at the University of Iowa. So I went from going to school, growing up in the South and the Midwest, to then really hitting the Midwest. So I definitely got my share of cold weather. So basically from the back half of 2010, I was in Iowa City, Iowa.
So quick question. Did you prefer playing or coaching?
Oh, playing, definitely. I'm way too competitive for that. But no, I love the adrenaline rush, just everything about stepping onto your respective field or court. And especially for me, playing under the lights, I don't think there's a better feeling in the world.
Got it. Okay, let's look forward 10 years. And how do you expect you'll be impacting the world in 2030? What are your hopes?
2030, I hope to be expanding on what I'm doing now, giving back just on a larger scale, having my own facility, really creating an atmosphere for kids and adults that want to change their lifestyle for kids in terms of sports performance and just getting to the top of their game. And for adults, just living a healthy lifestyle, both with what they're eating, how they're working out, and just overall bringing a better life to people and just making people happy, seeing them achieve their dreams.
Very good. All right, 14, let me toss it to you.
All right, what's up, Jay?
What's up?
For y'all that don't know, this is my best friend, y'all. I'm so hyped. She's the first female guest that we have. I'm excited. Jay, quick question. What was your initial response when you first heard about RAFRU?
Initially, I know obviously you and I had conversations and you kind of brought it up. And I definitely, it's something that's played a role in my career. And obviously me and you knowing each other, when you first said it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I definitely think it's one of those things that's not really spoken about. kind of one of those like gray areas, or there's an elephant in the room when it comes to people discussing racism. But obviously, fast forward to now, from that initial conversation of talking about RAFRU, now we're in a space where it's very relevant. So it's kind of interesting how, the initial thought and idea came about, and then you fast forward and it's like, all right, we got to do this now. This is important. So
just for the audience, we were talking, Jaimel and I, on air before the show. We started our discussions at the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
The world hadn't gone crazy yet.
Right.
You are on the show at 10 months later. And so that's what she was referring to.
Absolutely.
Jay, what did you think about like our website and the gear and the logo, all that stuff?
I love it. I mean, it's another space where people can go and read about people that have experienced, whether it's racial injustice or socioeconomic issues or, is all sorts of issues when it comes to, things that people face. So to come to a space and see a lot of different stories, whether it's racism or, any other issues that people just face, their adversity, I think it gives people a space where they can share their story. It gives people maybe a little bit of encouragement, like, okay, if I'm facing some sort of racism in my sport, a little bit of positivity to see how they overcame that situation. And then, of course, the gear, obviously the logo is all inclusive, which is really dope. See a little soccer ball right there.
You see him on the peace sign.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the one though, because
Of course, Jay.
It's great. So being able to represent something and wear a logo that kind of is all inclusive of everyone is really cool. So I definitely urge everyone to check it out.
Awesome. And the last little bit, you kind of touched on it in your explanation, but what are your hopes by sharing your unity story and joining our mission to improve the unity of the world one person at a time?
For me, it's simple. Obviously, I play in a sport that not many African Americans, especially in the United States, it's a sport where I was a minority a lot of the times, or sometimes, the only minority on my team kind of in the beginning. In college, every year in college, my team became more and more diverse. So I hope especially for young athletes, young females, of minorities in particular that, have hopes and dreams of playing soccer, they can look at my story and say, oh, she did it. I can do it too. And, I just have to continue to be myself and have uncomfortable conversations and communicate, I'm here because I'm a great soccer player, not because of the color of my skin. And, so I just hope that, people kind of get that feeling when they see it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Matt. I'm going to turn it back to you.
You just gave me that feeling. It gives me goosebumps. Great. So in your unity story, you shared how being involved with groups of people, and you mentioned both sports and church, helped you develop an appreciation for hard work, responsibility, and teamwork, and created in you a sense of unity, much like a family. So Jaimel, just share a few tidbits of your story with our viewers and listeners, but not too much, just enough that they'll rush to read it right after the show.
Right. So my story, like you mentioned, I have a huge family on both sides, mom and dad. And I'm very close with my family. And so, growing up, I always had, that support system. And, I grew up, my grandmother was very big in church. So, every Sunday I was at church. And, but same with my church, it was a big family. So I've always had that sense of family around me, whether it be friends, actual family. So I've always had that, and, the values that were instilled in me, with hard work and teamwork, coupled with starting playing, soccer at the age of 4, tap, ballet. I did everything, basketball, ran track. I did it all. So, but with that, and me deciding that soccer was going to be the path that I took to further my education as well as my athletic career, I faced a lot of adversity being, a young Black female in a sport where you didn't see too many people that looked like me. And, growing up partly in South Carolina, partly in Ohio, even more so, it wasn't huge, diverse communities. But so I faced a lot of adversity and really was right to my face. And I had to figure out how to push forward and stay positive. So, I was not chosen specifically because of the color of my skin, because my older brother was very good as well. So I don't want to give y'all too much, but definitely go check it out.
Good. What's one big message you hope every reader will take away when they read your story?
I think for me, the message is, first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself. No one's going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. But if you have that confidence and you know that you have the ability to be the best soccer player, basketball player, track athlete, or even entrepreneur, doctor, lawyer, it doesn't matter. You're going to go through things and you're going to face adversity. But at the end of the day, what are you going to be able to tell people about your journey and why you're successful, or what will they want to say about your journey and why you're successful? Everybody has a story. Everybody goes through something. But how are you going to respond when you're faced with adversity? Like I said, whether it's racism, social injustice, socioeconomic, the list goes on, but how will you respond? So I just hope people kind of get a sense of strength and courage and understand that anything is possible, if you put in the work.
Great. So just quickly, you wrote your essay, your Unity story, about a year ago, not quite a year ago. It's about to be introduced to the world. How do you feel about finally getting those thoughts on paper and out that maybe they can affect others?
I think it's awesome. I mean, this has always been a story that's been a part of my journey, but not a lot of people know it. And really, I don't want it to seem like that was something that just completely sidetracked me in my career. I think it gave me strength to go even harder, so it's really cool that now people get to read about it if they don't know me or if they know bits and pieces of my, career as a soccer player at University of Tennessee and beyond, and even as a coach. So I'm excited. I hope people enjoy it. I hope it resonates with people. If I touch at least one person, then I think it served its purpose.
Absolutely. All right, Jaimel, we're going to take a commercial break to tell everyone about 3 things. Why I love all natural, toxin-free dry farm wines, how to get an extra bottle for just a penny on their first subscription order, and how their purchase will support a big donation from Happy Living to WITV7. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love dry farm wines. I first met the man known as the healthiest wino on the planet back in 2016. He said his wines don't cause headaches or hangovers, and that he started his company because most wine consumed in the U.S. is highly processed and loaded with unnatural nasties. Like most processed food, it's toxic. That very night, I made a big health decision. Toxic wines out, natural wines in. It's been 4 years since I made the switch, and I feel great. Go to happyliving.com and select Partners in Happy to get your first bottle of natural wine for a penny. And I'll donate 8% of every order placed during the entire month of November to WITV7. Share the gift of natural wine and pour some love this holiday season.
Welcome back to the 14 and 41 Unity Show. I want to give a special shout out to our November sponsors, Dry Farm Wines and Happy Living. Thank you so much for donating and allowing us to continue to bring this show to the people. Jay, we're going to get right back into it, okay? I want to know, how have the lessons that you've learned as an athlete, in particular your Unity lessons, help you become a better and more successful person?
I think they've helped me because I'm still in the sport of soccer as well as personal training. So for me, it helps me kind of create that atmosphere, even if it's just myself and one client. It helps me create the atmosphere of working together, kind of making us unified. I'm here to support your goals and I want to see you reach them. So I'm going to be right here with you the entire way. And then, of course, as a coach, just my team, that I coach 7th and 8th grade girls, as well as all the way up through high school. So being able to give them bits and pieces of my story and how did I get through situations or adverse situations. So being able to impart little bits of knowledge of my story and things that I've learned along the way is incredibly rewarding. And, and they make me better every day just as much as, I do coaching them. So it's definitely, for me, being able just to take my story and be able to, use the lessons learned from my story and my journey to help grow my players and develop my players and see them reach the same goals and higher than I did.
That's awesome. Matt?
Very good. So here's a powerful message from your Unity story about the first time a coach didn't pick you to be on his team because you were Black. And you wrote, quote, "No matter what anyone tells you about how to handle these situations, you never really know how you're going to handle it until you're right there in it. There were a few, a few key lessons that I learned from the incident that I've carried with me throughout the course of my life as a young Black female and athlete." So Jaimel, just tell our audience about one of those life lessons.
I think a lot of it can be very useful now. Obviously, we're going through a lot of situations right now, just in the United States in particular, with racial injustice and social injustice. And, it's been happening, but now it's being seen. And so, for me, one of the lessons is, as a Black woman, as a Black LGBTQ woman, you're always going to be faced with adversity. But how do you overcome it? How can you take these lessons and these hardships and turn it into a positive and use them, not as so much being a victim, but take them and use them for the better, for your success, and understanding that, you're always going to have to overcome obstacles. But how are you going to operate when you're faced with those obstacles? Are you going to just kind of crumble and fall? Or are you going to get yourself back up and keep going at it? So for me, that's number one.
That's great. And will you share what it meant for you as a young Black girl when, as you wrote in your story, it was your mentor, a white male, that stepped up and made a public statement to support you and condemn that coach? How did that feel as a 15-year-old?
It was cool because for our relationship, it never had anything to do with Black or white. And so for him to step up and say that, of course, being a white male and being in the field that he's in, where it is dominated by mostly white men, for him to step up and say that, despite whatever people may say about him after that, he didn't care because, he knew what was right and what was wrong. And he supported me through everything till this day. So it was really cool to see that and really understand that, he has my back. Doesn't matter my skin color. He has my back regardless. So it was definitely really cool. At the time, I probably didn't look at it like that, or as in depth as that. But as I've gotten older and really understood the the situation and kind of the level of the situation, I've really understood how big that was for him.
That's awesome. 14, I think that's why we're doing what we're doing, don't you think?
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. It comes together. Your story is just all encompassing of referee. I love it.
I love it. So, Jaimel, before I toss it back over, now it's prediction time. So which of your teammates from the team you were just describing or any other team, which of your teammates will follow your lead and share their unity story with us? We need some names.
See, I would probably have to say from actually from my Tennessee team, University of Tennessee, one of my classmates, she was actually on the podcast with myself and Lex, but her name is Sarah Van Sickle, but her married name is Morrow. So Sarah Morrow.
All right, Sarah, we hope you're on the show soon. Okay, and now it's time, Jaimel, for a segment that we call Fun Time with 14.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you ready?
Always ready.
Sorry. So this is how it works. I know you're ready. We're about to have some fun. So I'm just gonna bust out a few rapid fire questions. You get about 3 to 5 seconds to answer them. Basically, first thought, first response that comes in your head, give it to the people. All right. All right. Let's go. I always start out slow, so I'll give you that same warm up. What other sports did you play besides soccer growing up?
Basketball, track, tap, ballet.
What if you didn't play soccer? What sport would you have played?
Basketball, handles.
Handles, got it. What? Growing up in Ohio, what made you choose Tennessee? Because that's like,
I love
right there. You know,
I love warm weather. I hated cold weather, so I was not going to play anywhere above Kentucky. And Tennessee had that family atmosphere and is big time athletics.
I love it. What is your most embarrassing sports moment?
Most embarrassing sports moment? I've pretty much always been a killer on the field. So I'd probably have to say when it was a scrimmage at our practice field, but I came out to clear ball and I completely missed the ball. I got back up and I cleared it, but it was a huge swing and miss. Nobody really saw it though because it was a practice.
I would have loved to have been there. I was about to say, I'd have been like,
never happened again in my career.
All right, what is your most proud non-sports moment?
My most proud non-sports moment was walking across the stage with my degree and giving my mom the biggest hug in the world because I was able to go to college and graduate in 3.5 years successfully, be drafted, and she didn't have to spend a dime.
Nice. If you can live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Somewhere on the beach. I need water in my life. I need sand. I need sun. Somewhere on the beach. But hurricanes cannot be a factor. So.
Okay. We'll have to figure that one out.
Exactly. I don't live on the beach.
Facts. What is your favorite meal to eat?
Well, obviously I like to be as healthy as possible, but if we're just taking that off the table, last meal is gonna be fried chicken, mac and cheese, greens, and cornbread.
Y'all hear that? Straight Southern meal, boy.
And a sweet potato pie.
Ooh, girl, you got me hungry right now. All right, let's go a little bit, make it fun for the people since we do know each other so well. Give them one crazy college moment that 14 and 1 had at the University of Tennessee.
I would say our 2007 national championship party at the house.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That Matt, we can't really put everything into the broadcast, but that was a great time. All right, one last question. If money was not an issue, what would you be doing to help change the world?
If money was not an issue, I would have a platform and a space for kids to be able to come to a safe space where they can be as creative as possible. They can explore, whatever it is they want, whether it's in music, whether it's in sport, whether it's education, but literally having a facility, inner city kids free. And you can come. We have every sport field, as well as just an area where you can work with tutors, you can work with producers and engineers, where you can be an artist, literally like a mini college campus in the middle of the hood, low key. To where like kids can come because they don't have that space. They don't have that positivity around them, that encouragement to follow their dreams. And there's so many kids that are so talented, but they don't have any support. Mm-hmm. And so they just kind of give up or don't really have any direction. And it's because maybe they don't have it financially, or, they're not put in positions to help them succeed.
Jay, you spot on right there. That would be amazing. I love that answer. For just before I hand it back over to Matt, I just want to make sure that, anything that you want to share with the people, any parting remarks, comments, anything you want to give to our listeners, here's your time for about, a couple minutes, 1 or 2 minutes.
First and foremost, thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Number one, go vote. November 3rd is approaching very, very quickly, and we have a platform to use our voice. So we have to use it, especially if you want change. We can't say that we want change and not get up and do anything about it. So make sure you guys understand where you can vote in your cities, and get out and vote. It's been amazing to see all the support in Atlanta. It's been crazy, but people are getting out and voting. Secondly, check me out, goldstandardtraining.com. I have been a college coach for 6 years, so I do consult with athletes wanting to take their career to the next level, athletically, in particular in soccer, but I am very aware of the NCAA Division I rules, Division II, and I just want to see kids reach the next level. Obviously, Lex, you and I had amazing careers and amazing college experiences, and I tell my kids all the time it's the best 4 years of my life. 3.5, but literally the best 3.5 years of my life. And so I just want people to continue to, push themselves to be better. And, if you have something that you feel like you need to say, use your voice, whether it's regarding racism, Black Lives Matter, or, socioeconomic injustice or police brutality, use your voice. I think everybody nowadays has social media and everybody has a platform, so use your voice, and have the hard and uncomfortable conversations, because that's the only way that we're going to affect change and change the world, for that matter.
Thank you, Jay, for sharing that with us. Matt, you want to close us out?
Love it. Yes, over the next 2 weeks, Jaimel is going to be responding to comments and questions and remarks from listeners to this show and readers of her Unity story. At the end of those 2 weeks, she'll pick the person she feels was the most impacted, and he or she will win a free RAFRU t-shirt or hoodie. And I expect at least her college or her soccer athletes to be commenting and working on that hoodie. Okay, and now it's your turn. If you're hearing my voice and you were inspired by this show, please donate what you can to WITV7. It's a wonderful 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Thank you to number 1 and number 14. Feels so great to work with inspiring people like you to do our part to make the world a better and more united place. Jaimel, your Unity story is awesome. And the words you wrote fit RAFRU like a goalkeeper's glove. I like that.
That's a good one.
You quote, racial injustice still remains a problem in today's society, but I think sports bridges that gap because ultimately you're sharing in the same goal with your teammates, coaches, and parents. With each unity story, we hope to bridge just a little bit more of that gap. So thank you for sharing your inspiring voice with our grassroots movement to improve the unity of the world. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Folks, you're going to love her story. Thank you to WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep sharing amazing stories from retired athletes like Jaimel, all of us working together to improve the unity of the world. A special thank you to our sponsors for the entire month of November, Dry Farm Wines and Happy Living. Remember, I'll donate 8% of every order placed during the entire month of November, so share the gift of natural wine and pour some love this holiday season. And most especially, thank you to our viewers and listeners. Go to rafru.com to read Jaimel's Unity story. You'll also find links to websites and social media and all things Jaimel Johnson. Find her, friend her, reach out to her goals, reach out to hear about her gold standard training. Engage with her and get that free t-shirt while you're at it. So from Alexis and Jaimel and me, we love you and we want you to be united, not divided. We do what we do at Retired Athletes for Radical Unity to inspire you to join our movement to improve the unity of the world, one heart at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the 14 and 41 Unity Show. And we're out.
Black or white, male or female, rich or poor, gay or straight. What's the difference? Number 14 and number 41 are on a mission to improve the unity of the world, one person at a time. The 14 and 41 Unity Show.